my god, this is so dumb. Watch this, watch. Bang! Full health. Hunter's instinct is not to be overlooked. The team perk, in my opinion, for defense missions is probably one of the best in the game. With the new update and much harder content, I'm always looking for new ways between guns and interactions with the heroes and team perks and sub perks and just everything you could think of. Always trying to, I guess you could say, break the game. Find an interaction that not many people know of or nobody would think of and try it out. And I feel like we may have found one here. Me and my buddy Crunchpack were trying out Hunter's Instinct, and we started to notice some crazy, and I mean crazy, interactions with this team perk. Now, I know that this team perk has been overlooked. I haven't seen any other Save the World YouTuber cover it unless I have missed that. But I'm telling you that it definitely needs to be talked about. What if I could promise you to have up to 50% bonus weapon damage, and that's a bunch of different weapons, melee included, ability damage, everything. And on top of that, infinite lifesteal. I mean, you saw the clip in the beginning. I went from 33,000 health to 387, give or take a few numbers. On top of that, not even playing a survivalist class. There's some weird stuff going on here. So let's talk about it. So what does Hunter's Instinct really do? Or at least what does it say it does on its tooltip? If we take a look, it says, for each hero of epic or higher rarity with at least 4 stars, eliminations during evening or night grant 0.24 damage and 0.08 melee life leech up to 40 stacks. These bonuses last until night ends. Now, I know for me and my friends and the people I asked, everyone thought of it like this. The weapon itself, the perk itself rather, did 0.24 times 40, which would give you 9.6% extra damage. And the way that Fortnite words everything makes it very hard to decipher which team perk, how it exactly works. But this one in particular, even though the math isn't correct anyway, but you know, that's Fortnite, works a little differently. What the math actually is here, it's for each hero. Now, I know it says that, but it's still very easy to overlook. So what you're really getting here, or supposed to be getting, is 0.24 times 5 for the 5 heroes times 40, which will give you 48% bonus damage. Now, the weird thing is that this doesn't work out all the time. Depending on what weapon you're using, the numbers seem to change. Anywhere from 23% all the way up to 50% that I've gotten personally, that I've had time to test. I've tested shotguns, assault rifles, melee weapons, swords, spears, scythes, a bunch of stuff, but I have not had time to test everything. But I'm going to tell you that having 48% bonus damage for the majority of a defense on a defensive mission, there's nothing that comes close. Preemptive strike gives you 36%, I believe, 6.5 times 5, which would give us 6.5 times 5, which would give us 32.5 on the first shot. Now, if you're using an old Betsy or something like that, sure, that works. If you're using any other kind of gun, not the greatest thing in the world. I would much rather have 48% base damage for the majority of the defense than having one bullet that hits a little harder. Now, here's another thing to keep in mind. Just using this character as an example, you do not have many damage-orientated team perks. For a soldier, 9 times out of 10, you'll use Keep Out. I mean, you could use Phase Blaster and Cool Customer and slow your roll, but none of them are super damage orientated. And again, Preemptive Strike is so niche that you have to use hard hitting weapons. Hot Swap is one of the most useless things in the world. Bioenergy Source is a tanky perk. Utility, 1-2 punch, utility, underdog, utility. Blakebeard's stash is a completely different thing. Slow your roll, utility. Cool Customer can give you more damage, but again, utility. There's nothing in the game, well, that's not true. There isn't much in the game that gives you just bonus damage. And I found myself having this issue on multiple different characters. For, like I said, on a soldier, you most likely will take keep out. But what about if you're playing an Outlander? If you're playing an Outlander and you're not farming, what perk are you gonna pick? If you want to do more damage, what perk are you going to pick? Again, Phase Blaster comes to mind, but again, not the best thing. I really don't like that ghost shot regardless. Travel time is too long and it's just not for me. Long Arm of the Law, most people will take this. As you're playing an Outlander, you might as well farm some more. But if you want to play a DPS character, if you want to play a DPS Outlander, Ninja, it doesn't matter. This perk works on every single character in the game, and almost 50% damage increases for at least the defense is kind of nuts. You really don't want to use this on an encampment mission unless you're with a bunch of pugs and it's super high level, and you're not going to get to those super encampments until much later. But if you're speed running, you're not going to want to use this on encampments. I haven't really had much success on it with Evacuate the Shelter either. The timers on the missions are just a little off. But if you do a bomb mission, repair the shelter, retrieve the data, atlases, or van missions, this perk, Hunter's Instinct, will be active for the majority of the defense. And in fact, if you time it right, you can get it for the entire defense. Having 50% bonus damage is crazy. But wait, there's still one more part to this perk. It also says that 0.08% melee life leech up to 40 stacks. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where this gets really, really broken. One crit chance, 1 crit damage. Wait a minute, what the hell is healing me? Yo, my traps are healing me. My traps are fucking healing me. Watch my health, watch my health, watch my health, watch my health. I'm gonna take damage, right? Right? Watch. Ready? You see I'm low on health, right?
Just going up.
I'm not killing anything. I'm on the roof. Look. I'm full health.
Drop a trap here and test it too.
In all honesty, forgive me if this is known, but this blew my mind. And this is not with Life Leech or anything. It's Hunter's Instinct, because it only works at night. And it's a lot of health. And in fact, we've did it a couple of times and we goofed around with it, and you can basically become invincible between the cooldowns on your abilities, because that gives you health back. And if you put a couple gas traps over the spawn, you will constantly be healing. As long as you don't get yourself into a really, really bad situation, you will be fine 95% of the time. Now, what this actually does is we're not 100% sure. It's really hard to tell exactly what you're getting percentage-wise on a Life Leech, but the ability says melee Life Leech, and then if you do the multiplication for it, it turns into 16% Life Leech on melee. At least that's what it says, but it's not. It's every single bit of damage from any source whatsoever. So that means traps, abilities, turrets, teddies, shock towers, dragon slash, kick, kunai, shockwave, everything in the game does damage will 100% give you health back. And it seems that either the higher the damage number, the more health you get back. Don't quote me on that part, but it kind of seemed that way. Like a Jack's Revenge, for example, would give you like 100,000 health back versus a swing of a sword, which would only give you like 40, something like that. That's what it seems to be doing. The tooltip is just broken. It doesn't say that you life leech off of every single form of damage in the game, and yet here we are. Traps, abilities, turrets, everything in the game gives you health back. Damage to the enemy. You don't even have to kill them. It's not even eliminations. It's just damage. Now, but let's talk a little bit more about the damage. Now, it says that we should, as long as you have 5 heroes, give you about 48% of damage. The only gun that I could get to scale that high was the Santa's Little Helper. Everything else seemed to be in a range. Assault rifles seem to get about a 23 to 26% bonus depending on the assault rifle. Swords got more of a 40% range. Sword and melee weapons got a 40% bonus damage modifier to it. So it's all over the place. The tooltip is broken. The ability, the team perk is broken, but all in good ways, guys. If you're looking for an extra way to do a lot of bonus damage and basically be unkillable because of the life leech that happens, and you're playing any kind of defense mission, specifically RTDs, RTLs, and Atlas missions, think about bringing Hunter's Instinct. I always thought it was kind of weird that there weren't many perks that are offensive. Just to use the soldier as one last example, you have Keep Out, and yeah, it's okay, but it's not a great ability regardless. I much prefer to have this, at least on defensive missions. The last weird thing is that although you get life leech from damaging enemies with traps, it does not increase your damage from traps. So just keep that in mind. You'll always have the heal, but it won't increase your damage on traps. Now, again, I haven't seen any other YouTuber, Save the World YouTuber, cover this, and I'm friends with most of them. If they have, just let me know. But I wanted to bring this to you guys, my community, who supports me and the way I make my videos. I hope you guys really like this one. Check it out. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. If I was to offer you 25% to 50% bonus damage, infinite life leech, and a couple of other team perks here and there, would you pass it up? Absolutely not. Once again, there's not many offensive team perks in the game anyway, so you might as well grab this. If you're doing a RTD mission and you drop it at 8 minutes, you will have the buff all the way to the last minute of the defense, allowing it to be trivial at some points. It's kind of crazy. Definitely check it out. Come back here. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about it. I really appreciate all the love and support, guys. If you want to check us out live where we figure out all these cool things, twitch.tv/ROundedtiktak. I promise you'll enjoy it. We are one viewer away from being able to apply for partner. Is that one viewer going to be you? Come stop by. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. TikTak out.